YouTube parts. Jack Spade back here with you, High Noon Leatherworks, for another leather adventure. And in this episode, we're continuing the guitar strap project, and we're going to do some hand carving today with our swivel knife. So come on in and let's get started. We have our guitar strap with our artwork marked in there. We did that last episode. Now the next step is we're going to do all of our carving with our swivel knife. And the first thing I'm going to do is sharpen my swivel knife. So I'm going to take a little scrap piece of leather that I've used, you can tell before, for stropping. I'll take some jeweler's rouge, put that on my leather, and then I'll strop that swivel knife, and that'll polish that blade up and make it nice and sharp. Set that aside, and it doesn't really matter which side that I'm going to start on, but I'll take my swivel knife, put my finger in the rest, and use my thumb and my middle finger and my ring finger to control it so I can swivel it as I cut. And I like to be able to move my piece around so that I can kind of draw toward me most of the time. So I'll start here, and I'm using the point of the knife, the blade itself, and what you're doing is you're cutting into the leather, but you're also getting some depth down into that leather as you're doing your cutting. And just like any other tool, the more you use the swivel knife, the better you'll become at it. I mean, it just takes practice. And when I haven't done it for a while, it takes me a little while to get back into the swing of it. And if it feels like it's not cutting real good, and it's kind of just wanting to glide over the leather and not cut down into the leather, then just stop, polish it again, strop it again, and take back off. And remember, I can use both sides of the blade. So, and here's a good example where I want to cut. I'm comfortable cutting this one direction, which is toward me, with the knife. So as I do that, I can cut all those areas in that section toward me. Then I can turn this around and I can cut the other ones, which would be toward me also. So whatever's comfortable for you to do, just the main thing is to be safe. This blade is sharp. Again, just like I've talked about in some of my videos before, when you're using any kind of blade like that, take your time. It's better to take an extra minute or so when you're cutting instead of making a mistake that you can't go back on, because once you cut into that leather, it's there. You're not going to get that repaired. It's not coming out. That cut is going to be there. So there's cut into that cloud. I've done all of my swivel cuts in there, and again, I'll keep my piece of stropping leather close, keep my blade polished and sharp, and I'll move on to the next piece. So I'm going to fast forward this as I cut down through here, and I'll be back when I get this side done. So there's the first end done, and again, if I can, you can really see the detail and the depth now. I'll show you the difference in just the tracing and then the carving. There's the carving, and there's just the tracing. Tracing, carving. So you can really see the shadows and the depth starting to appear as I'm carving that out. So I don't know if you could tell from that far away, but there's the carving and there's the tracing. There it is side by side. So you can definitely tell a difference. So I'll of course go ahead and carve this side to match the other side before we do any type of stamping. And I believe stamping will be the next video. So I'll go ahead and carve this one off camera so you don't have to sit through that whole thing, because it's exactly like this other side. So as I said, I'll go ahead and carve this other side here off camera. You can see the depth, the carving, those lines changes so much. Here's the traced side, and let me see if I can kind of put these side by side to one another. Let me overlap them. I don't know if you can really see it that well on camera. Yeah. So this is the carved and this is the traced. Just much duller, much more defined depth. Especially you get some light on it, you can really see the depth in it. But it turned out really good. So that's our swivel knife carving on the guitar strap. Come on back next time, and in the next episode we'll be doing some stamping that'll really bring that to life and really make it pop. So make sure you come on back and check that out. So like I always say, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.